I know you've worked hard for this retirement and you really want to enjoy it. And one of the really important aspects of getting the most out of retirement is keeping as much of that cash flow as you can. Sometimes you may do something where you may have to give back or lose some of those Social Security benefits. And in this video, I want to share with you 4 particular possibilities that may cause you to lose some of that Social Security. So before we get there, click on the link below, subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications bell. I have over 30 years of experience in this business, and I want to share with you all that I've learned and some of the conversations I've had with my clients. So in retirement, cash is king. And my guess is you have a certain expectation level for how much income you need in order to pursue the retirement that you deserve. But what if you don't get that amount of income because you weren't aware of something or stepped on one of the tax or income landmines that might be out there? You see, I believe our industry has done a lousy job of truly preparing you for retirement at so many levels. And today I really want to focus in on 4 potential pitfalls that could possibly impact your income from Social Security. But just for a moment, if I may get your permission, I want to digress for just a moment to talk to you about the 2 different stages of financial planning, because it really flows into what we're talking about today. In the first stage, what we call the accumulation stage, your focus primarily is on, if you will, money management. How to accumulate as much money as possible so that you can have that retirement nest egg so that when you do go to retire, you have the income that you desire. Now, as we go into the distribution stage, where income is actually more important than money management, this is where I think the industry has really let you down. Because I want to focus on that income. Because the income, believe it or not, is actually, for most, more important than really spending lots of time on the money management, because it really is the income that drives the satisfaction you may have in retirement. So let's get started. So the first item is not understanding the income limits. So let me tell you why this is important, and I want to share with you a story. So I had a client of mine who wanted to take her grandkids to Disney. What a great thing. We all want to do that, right? All want to create opportunities to have joy and create memories. But here was the issue. Bobby said she needed $8,000 in order to, and this is numbers of years ago, take the grandkids down. And she was going to work more hours at her part-time job in order to get that money that she needed for the trip. Now, Bobby was not yet full retirement age, but was earning Social Security. So, and I'll show you the charts in just a moment, she was hitting up against what we call the earnings limits. So when Bobby placed the call to me, I talked with her accountant, and we actually came up with the numbers. And as it turns out, in Bobby's scenario, she actually hit what I would call the perfect storm. She hit just the wrong thresholds at just the wrong times. And the reality was, bottom line, she was only going to keep about $2,000 in her pockets of the $8,000 extra she was going to earn. So we went back to her, and our guidance to her was, this is not the way to fund that vacation. So I don't want you to get tripped up by this either. So let me take you to my screen for just a moment. So the real question is, if you apply for Social Security before your full retirement age and you're working, This is the annual earnings test. So for every $1 in benefits will be withheld for every $2 you earn over $19,560 in the year 2022. The benefit will be adjusted at full retirement age. You will get some of that, or most of the money back, but at the time you really need it, before full retirement age, you're going to lose the opportunity to utilize that money. So the moral of the story really is, make sure if you're going to claim Social Security before full retirement age, you're fully aware of it, or you may lose some of those Social Security benefits. The second issue that we have to deal with in terms of, oh my gosh, I'm giving up some Social Security benefit, is claiming too early. So here's the question for you. Would you rather be early or delayed? Would you rather pay a penalty or get a bonus? And this relates directly to Social Security. This relates directly to an income study that was done by United Income that says Americans lose trillions claiming Social Security at the wrong time. The study concluded that 96% of retirees choose the wrong year to tap Social Security, and most people are better off waiting until 70, with 43% of adults actually better off claiming before 70. The big takeaway from the study was that by claiming at the right time, more than half of retirees would see income in their 70s and 80s rise by more than 25%. So let me digress for just a moment, and let's go to what the definition of full retirement age is. As you can see from this slide, if you were born between 1943 and 1954, your full retirement age is 66. If you're born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. I was born in 1955, so my full retirement age is 66 and 2 months. So we have a full video on whether or not to choose Social Security at 62. So go to that. But for right now, I'm going to give you a very, very condensed version of it. So the real question is, do you want to be in the penalty phase or the bonus phase? Do you really want to max out that income? Let me share with you the difference between taking it at 62, which almost 50% of you do, and for most of you, it's the wrong choice, versus taking it later in life. So let me take you to my chart for just a moment. So let us assume that your full retirement age is age 67, and that at that age, you should get approximately $2,800. If you were to take it at 62, you would get a 30% haircut. Therefore, you would only get $1,960. But if you waited till the age of 70, and that's not right for everyone, but just in the event of you can, and the planning allows for you to do that, then you could get, if it's without cost of living, you would get $3,472, or if you incorporated and assumed and projected a 2.6% annual cost of living adjustment, which is what the trustees do for the Social Security Administration, you get $4,263 a month. So which would you prefer? $4,263 a month or $1,960? Now I know, and you know, it's not that simple, right? But I just want to give you a sense of what the impact might be if you wait versus took it too early. And the answer for you will lie in the planning. Now, all of this is about planning, by the way. We're talking about going into the next chapter of life. And I want to offer to you from our recent book, Don't Outlive Your Money in Retirement, I devoted the second chapter completely to Social Security. So go up to the banner, hit the icon for free chapter, and I will get you all that you need to know. So the third pitfall is what I will call garnishments. Now that's really just a big word for taking your money away. So I do a lot of educational webinars, and one of the things I talk about is with regards to college planning. And if you're a grandparent, you may have signed off for your grandchild if they needed a loan. You may have been one of the signatories on that loan paperwork. That's great. Glad you stepped up to the plate. But let me tell you a potential downfall to that. What if everything didn't work out perfectly and that loan was defaulted upon? You, as the signatory and collecting Social Security, would be on the hook, and the government would go in and garnish, take some of your benefits away because you were on the hook. Each and every month, they could take a certain amount away. And that holds true for if you're in default for any government debt, if you have some child support issues, alimony. So just be very, very aware of what your circumstances are, and particularly when it comes to college planning, what you're signing for. And finally, the fourth line item is what I call the tax torpedo. Now, some of you may not be aware of the fact that your Social Security benefits, for most of you viewing this, will be taxed at some level. And you need to understand that before you go in so you can do the proper planning. So let me share with you my screen. So the important thing to recognize is what we call provisional income. And that is your adjusted gross income plus 1/2 of your Social Security benefit, plus any tax-exempt interest, typically municipal bond income. And as you can see, if you are married and filing jointly, and if that provisional income is over $44,000, then upwards of 85% of your Social Security will be subject to tax. If you're single, that threshold is $34,000, where upwards of 85% of your Social Security benefit will be taxed. So it's really important as you do this planning, and planning is really the key, with your financial advisor, with your accountant, with your spouse. Make sure that you are in control of and don't step on any of the landmines that could prevent you from maximizing your Social Security benefit.